Okay, so what we are doing today is we will create a API for a machine learning model with the help of Flask. And what is Flask? Flask is a micro framework. Let's open the Flask documentation. Flask documentation. So what it says is Flask is a, it is saying nothing because my internet is very slow, and it says, it doesn't says anything again. So let's see what we have here. We have some, so as I said, I am assuming you already know some basics of machine learning. You are familiar with these libraries. So we have imported these important libraries. We are loading this data set, which is the real estate price and size CSV. What we have here is we have prices and a size. This is the target variable. We have to predict price from this size variable. So what is size? This is size is in meter squares, square meters of the land. Okay, so now next what we have is next. So from the sklearn library we are importing this linear regression class, and we are splitting this dataset into a train test. So then here we instantiate and then fit to a training data, and then what we are doing is we are dumping this model into a pickle file, so that we can, why we are doing this, so that we can load this model into our Flask API and make some prediction when the user inputs something. So now let's move on. Next. So I'll include this notebook in the I'll upload this on GitHub and include that link in the description. Okay, so now what is Flask? Flask, let's see. Our main focus is not on machine learning models, but on how to create a Flask API for a machine learning model. So that's what we are doing here is, so web development one drop at a time. So what line I was looking for is so it says somewhere that Flask is a microservice framework, so that I was looking for. So Flask handles the backend part. Okay, anyway, so we'll continue. First thing first, what we have to do here is we'll create a python -m when, which is a venv. So what this will help us in creating a virtual environment. So the name of the virtual environment we can enter here. So python -m when and whatever. So let's create the same name. So I have already created this because my internet is slow, and I have already downloaded the requirements files. So let's say you created this virtual environment, and then what you'll do is then you will open this requirement.txt file. We have here is these three libraries that we want. Flask, this is the name of the library, and this is version number. So okay, so what we'll do here is we'll say python, not python, we'll say pop, not pop, pip install -r requirements.txt. So we'll enter and it will, so I have already installed it previously, so it will take some time and it is done. Okay, so the next part is we will move on to, we'll say touch to. Okay, so first of all let's activate this virtual environment that we created. Source when, which is the name of this folder, and in this folder we have bin activate. Okay, so this, let's see here how do we know it is activated. We have this, the name of this folder here. So now our environment is activated, and what we'll do is we'll say pip install -r requirements.txt. Okay, so I already did that, but make sure after you activate this environment you do this step. Okay, so next part is we'll touch run.py. We'll create a Python. So let's open this in VS Code. All right. So what we have here is a simple. First of all, we'll create a simple Flask application. So we'll say it is not working. So from Flask, we'll import Flask. So what we are doing here is we are from this Flask library we are importing the class which is named Flask. And let me first of all really quickly underscore name, and we'll say app dot route, and we'll say this, and we'll define a function here. We'll say it a home, and we'll return simple string which is obviously called hello world. And then we'll say if double underscore name is equals to double underscore main. Then what we'll do is we'll say app dot run, and we'll set a debug mode equals to true. So now we'll say python run.py. So what is this run.py? This is our name of this module. Okay, so we'll enter, and it is running. Our Flask application is running on the local host and port number 5000. So let's open this. It is taking time. Okay, so yeah, here it is, hello world. So our API is running. So now what we'll do is we'll add some functionalities. So these are the simple lines we created from from the module Flask. We imported this class which is named Flask, and then we created an app variable which contains in which we instantiated this Flask class. Then this is a decorator function, and this is the URL endpoints. So we can also say app dot route. We'll say we can say index. So save and try it in the browser. So here if we have provided nothing, it will redirect us to this, and if we say something else, it will say the requested URL is not found. So what we'll do is we have also said index. So if the URL is nothing is provided in the URL, we'll redirect to this page, or if the index is provided in the URL, we'll redirect to this. So now it is not a page, it is just a simple string which we are returning. So now let's create a template, a HTML file. First of all, what a Flask structure looks like, we save all of our templates, means HTML files, in a folder named templates. Okay, so in the templates we'll create a new file which will be index.html. We'll open it. We'll say okay, doc type HTML. We'll quickly say HTML. We'll say head. We'll declare a title. What will be the title? Linear regression. Okay, so body. In the body what we want is, so now let's see what we want here is, in our model we only single variable from which we'll predict the price, that this is the target variable. So so with the help of HTML forms we can accept user inputs, and then with the help of the model that we saved here we can predict some values. So how do we do that? Let's see. Let's create a HTML form. We'll say form method is equals to post, and in this method what we want, a input field type is equals to text, and name, I'll tell you what this means, what this name means. Placeholder is equals to enter, here we can say, and then end this tag. And first of all let's check this how it is looking. Okay, so there is one thing that we are missing, and what is this? We are not rendering that template, we are still returning a simple string. So what we have to do is we have to import render template from this Flask module. So we'll say render template, and in that we have to define the name of the HTML file. So it is called an index.html. So let's check it out. So here it is, we have a simple input field here. Okay, so let's create a button also. We'll say input type is equals to submit. Anything else? We'll say value is equals to submit. Let's check again. Okay, it is looking good. So first of all let's check, what if we say enter something value and submit, method not allowed. So what it is saying is, because we have not allowed any methods here, so let's remove this. So we'll say here method is equals to get and post. So here what we are saying is the allowed methods are get and post. So in the HTML form we said the method will be post. So by the post method we are sending this information that user enters. Now let's check again. So we are sending not found, URL not found. So why is it? Let's create the backend part for it. 1 second. Okay, so first of all what we'll do is we'll create a model. For that we need pickle file. We'll import pickle and model. We'll say pickle dot, we are loading the model here. We'll say open. What is the name of our model? Okay, so it is not there. What we have to do is, again in this notebook, let's rerun all these cells. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And here what we'll do is we'll import this. Some error is there, resistance by the CSV. Okay, it is not there, is it? Okay, anyway, so we will do one thing. We have it, let's copy this and paste it here. Now let's try once again. Tung, 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 tung. So now our model is dumped here. So we'll say pickle.dump linear regression. This model is dumped into the lr model.pkl file. So it is now present here, and what we can do now is we'll say load this model. Which model? lr underscore model.pkl, and what we need to specify is we'll read it in binary mode. Okay, so our model is loaded. And one more thing, when we are submitting the form, when we will say if request, okay, we have not imported, so request. So I'll explain. First of all let me write this. Request dot method is equals to post. if the method is post, what we'll do is we will load this model, and next what we'll do is we will say model dot predict. Before predicting, what we have to enter is user. Let's fetch user input. So what will be the, what is the user input? We'll say request dot form and get, it is, we can access it like a dictionary, and we said size. So what we are doing here is, so we will predict, so we have to specify it like this, user input. Okay, so let me explain what we did here. By this request dot form, what we can access is, we can access this HTML form. And what is this? Name is equals to site, we said. So see here, this size, we are getting this size value from here in this HTML form. The name is equals to size, so the name of this input field is size, and we are getting this value of this input field by the name of size here with the help of request.form.get size. Okay, so next what we'll do is model.predict user input. So we'll save it in a prediction variable, prediction is equals to, and then we'll say what we'll say, we'll try to print this prediction. Let's first of all check what happens. Okay, here is our API. Let's submit this. Not allowed URL if you enter Okay, so this is the URL, and what we'll do here is, let's enter 643, submit. Okay, so what is the problem? Let me check. Maybe the problem is the user input. Let's print the user input and we'll see. Let's check it again. So again there will be error, but we have a useful information here. We have here 643. Is it a string? Let's try one more time. Type is equals to type of the user input. What is the type of the user input? Let's check. Okay, again there will be error, but class is equals to, okay, so this is a string. First of all we have to convert it into a float. So we'll say user input is equals to, not integer, we'll convert it into a float, user input. Okay, so now it will work. We'll again enter this. So here it is reloaded, but nothing happened. Why? But we can see it has predicted. So this is where the value is returned here. Okay, so now is the fun part. How will we return it? So everything is there. We'll say prediction is equals to prediction. So let me tell you what is referring to which variable. So this prediction is this. The prediction, the keyword here is prediction, and the value of this keyword is prediction, which is referring to this value. And how we will use this keyword is in this index.html. we'll say, we'll create a paragraph, and in this we will say, this is how we use the Jinja templates, and we'll say prediction. So this keyword prediction is referring to this, and this value of this prediction keyword is referring to this value, which is the prediction value that we got after the predicting from the model. Okay, so now I think everything is done. So let's predict again, and it says here we can modify it like this. We can also say your price is, let's enter some different value now. Okay, your price is this. So that's how we have not decorated it. It is very looking very ugly. We can modify it, we can style it with css or bootstrap. We'll do it in next part. If you want me to make another videos like this, please you can ask me. And till then, let me once again see if everything is explained. Okay, we have created a form. Let's see from scratch once again. So we imported this class from this Flask module and these methods, and we said okay, so what we are here saying is, if the when we click the button, so when we say submit, we fire a post request, and if button is clicked, what we'll do is we'll load a model. We can load model outside also, but when but then we access the user input by request.form.get. Let me show you also. Let me print request.form, how it looks like. Let's see. Okay, so value is returned. So this form looks like this. It is a dictionary, so this is the size and the value is this. You already know it, the size. What is this size? It is coming from here because we set the name variable to size. Okay, so now everything is done. The basic linear regression, the API for the linear regression model is done, and we'll also try to create some more complex and styled version of API with the help of Flask and HTML CSS Bootstrap. So for that, stay tuned, and we are done for today.